gorgeous followers, and welcome if you're new. Today we're going to be speaking about my first market. So the first thing I'll say is I feel incredibly lucky that the first market I did was a Pride market. So everyone was so friendly, everyone was so nice. It was so much less scary than if it had been something like a car boot sale, I think. And in the UK there are not as many craft fairs as I would like there to be, especially not that I'm able to get to because I work 2 other jobs, so I don't have time to go to very many. But this one, it was so lovely. It was so lovely. So the market I went to was Mile Cross Pride. It was phenomenal. So I'm going to speak to you, I think, in like 3 sections. So first we're going to speak about market prep, all the preparation I did, any of the videos I managed to take for prep, because I was really bad at filming for this, like terrible. So we'll do prep, I'll talk about the market day, and finally we'll talk about what I'm going to do differently next time, because there are quite a few things I'm going to do differently. Like, we've got a list. So for prep I had, give or take, 3 weeks. I only found out I was going to this market 2.5, 3 weeks beforehand, because I wasn't going to book anything until I passed my driving test. I passed my driving test, emailed her, and she emailed me back immediately, and I knew I was going, so I started prep pretty quick. I'm gonna have an honorary moment for the card I got from my mum's friend for passing my driving test. Phenomenal. That is my car, I just don't have a convertible. So I had a little bit of time for prep. It would have been more than enough had I been smart beforehand and stocked myself well. I don't tend to keep stock. Up until this point, I don't make things to keep. I make things as and when I need to make them. Even with TikTok Shop, even though there's a limit, everything I make, I can make within a day. So I make it that day, send it the day after, send it within like the 3-day time span. Whereas with a market, it all has to be ready there and then. So I think I had a handful of things ready. At most, I think I had 10 different plushies that I'd already made beforehand and had to take with me. Everything else I needed to make all new, which was quite intimidating, but it was okay. I ended up with 90 items, give or take. I would have liked a lot more, and I had a lot of plans for a lot more things. But I got to the point where, like, the 2 days beforehand, I was crashing so hard from doing so much, because obviously alongside this I also work weekends and a few afternoons each week at Whittard, and I also work in a primary school during the day, so I was dying. All my spare time was crochet and I couldn't do anything else. So I made 90 things. I was really proud of myself. Hopefully I've got a few things popping up around me, covering my beautiful background, showing what I was up to, some of the things that I made. So I had a lot ready, but there were a lot of things I forgot I would need. So stuff that I had to buy beforehand were things like a card machine, because I hadn't needed a card machine before. Everything I had done had been through TikTok Shop, and that just is straight onto my card. That's really easy. Or it had been PayPal. So I got a card machine and learned how to use that a few days before. I used the Sum Up card machine. It's quite good, it's quite fun. I also needed display items, like not display items, but things to display my stuff, because I did one mock-up. If I've got a video of it, I'll pop it in now, but I did one mock-up of how I would set the table up. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, but it was not good. It was a bit crowded. I have a lemon tablecloth, which was really cute. It's still really cute, but it does make everything look a little bit crowded, so I'm hoping to get a plain white one for next time. But I ended up getting like some stackable clear plastic box things. I got some clear little tubs. We raided, so my mum works in a kitchen, she's a chef, so I used some vegetable crates. They were really cute, and I used my cocktail shaker to hold the flowers, so a lot of it was very rushed, put together. it looked really nice in the end. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Oh, I also had a stand that is like white with wood. That's my fruit bowl. So a lot of stuff that I was using was stuff I already had lying around because I needed some height to make it look a little bit better. And it worked out in the end, but it was a bit of a stressful... It was stressful trying to make it look nice. It was more stressful than I expected. And another thing, which I should do, and I always leave to the last minute, is UKCA testing. Now, I have obviously I've made my own guide for UKCA testing. If you've not seen me before, the guide is free and it should be in my bio. If it's not, leave a comment, I'll put the link there. So I know how to test. I've done it a million times. But for this, for some reason, I left all of my UKCA testing right until the end. So I think it was the week before. So it was a week before the fair. I then had, oh God, I'm going to count now. This is my little book of everything. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I had 19 different patterns to test, which I was kicking myself about. Because why did I not test them as I went along? Because I didn't want to, quite frankly. Because testing is so important and it is so boring. So I left the testing until such last minute. I also forgot about things like business cards. Business cards I didn't have until like the night before, halfway through printing. Like, I will tell you first how I printed my labels. So my printer broke while I was printing labels, but I wasn't printing labels, I was printing sticky paper, looked like sticker paper, to then stick onto card and then cut out from the card, because my old printer wouldn't run card through it. It would jam every time and it would have a bit of a meltdown. My printer broke halfway through labels and I still had 50 more labels to do. So I had to run out and buy a new printer, but that printer used card. So I ended up going with, I think, 24 business cards that I could hand out. And I think everybody who bought something from me did take a card. Like, that's something I was really pleased with. I didn't expect people to want to find me. As far as I'm aware, nobody who took a card has actually followed me or actually messaged or anything like that. But they were a great hit. Next time I'm going to actually print a lot more business cards and have a bit of a stock of them. Same with labels. I didn't print out any labels beforehand, before I knew I was going to this fair, because I only ever sold like the odd thing on TikTok Shop. I could just print the label off as and when I needed it. That is not the case when it comes to selling, because obviously labels are a big part of UKCA certified items. So labels were such a disaster. I think I tried about 3 or 4 different ways of making them in the end. I mean, it might have been easier for me to just order them, but I like being able to format stuff and change it there and then if I don't like it, rather than having to contact a print company, say I don't like it, change it again, probably still do a bad job because me and formatting are not the best of friends, and it was just a hassle. So all of those sort of like boring menial tasks that I always put off came back to bite me in the arse when it came to fair prep. So don't do what I did. Keep labels, keep bags, because bags I also forgot. Keep everything UKCA tested as you make the pattern. I know you probably all do this, and this is just me being bored after I make the plushie, but yeah, those are all the like sort of prep events that happened. I'm sure I have interspersed some videos of me doing some prep amongst this. I hope I have, because I think I took some videos. If I didn't, very sorry about that. And we're on to the next thing. We're going to talk about the market day. Okay, so the market day, it went really well. It went really well, I think. So it was a really small sort of local market in an area of Norwich, which is like in Norfolk, the little bump of England. And it was absolutely lovely. So it was supposed to be really sunny. It was meant to be like 30 degrees up until I think 5 days beforehand. Then the weather changed and it pissed it down all day. It was supposed to be a big thunderstorm, but I was not very optimistic. Driving there, I was thinking I'll be lucky if I make back the table price, and the table price was like £15, but it was already such a small event that I was worried I wasn't going to sell a thing. So I got there, we set up, we were really early because I was worried about being lost or not finding it well or taking ages to park because I'm not the best at parking. And actually we were done with like an hour to spare. We got to chat with a load of the other vendors, and it was really nice. It was really nice. So the setup is here, hopefully. Hopefully I'm showing you the setup right now. It was really cute. It was really cute. So my mum and my best friend came with me, and they helped me do it all as well, and helped me carry all the bags from my car, as they will not let me forget. But it actually went really well. It rained all day, but despite that, I had so many people come. There was so many people. Like, it felt quiet in comparison to my other jobs, especially my other retail job, but considering the weather and considering I don't think it was it wasn't the most advertised event in the world, and it was sort of tucked into a community hall that if you didn't know the community hall was there, you wouldn't have really known about it. So we had quite a few customers, and here is what I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for. How much did I make? So it was a 4-hour long event, and I made £100. Actually, I made £103, but I was hoping for more. However, I also spoke to a lot of the other vendors. Not many people did very well at this fair, and I think it is a lot down to the weather and the advertisement. So I spoke to one lady, and she said she'd made £30 that day, and her mum had spent £10. So, you know, a lot of people didn't do as great as they hoped. But you know what? For my first fair, the first event I attended, I made £100 and something. I made back the price of the table. I made back the price of the card machine I bought. I more than made back the price of every penny I had spent to be there. So it was really nice. I actually made a profit, which I didn't expect. I sort of expected I was going to be happy if I made £50, because that would have paid for the table, petrol, and the card reader, because that felt like a long shot anyway. So yeah, that is how much I made from my first market. Now we're going to talk about how I feel it went. I feel like I could have made a bit more variety. I feel like it went quite well, but I did have next to me a girl I know who also does markets. She's lovely, by the way. Her name is, I think, Milton and Willow. Fantastic. And she made quite a bit more than me, but she's also been doing markets a lot longer. She sells quite different things to me. She was doing stickers and earrings and art prints, things like that, and had so much variety. And I think that is what really helps drive sales, I guess. This is me trying to be businessy. I'm not businessy at all. But so much variety, obviously something appealed to everybody, and it was so sweet. Near the end of the market, when we were about to like all start packing away, 2 kids ran all the way home and back in the rain so they could have enough money to buy some of her stickers, and that was just so cute. That was great. So yeah, I think that's like all I have to say about how the market actually went. I think it was really good, and I do think I was quite lucky. I was the only crochet artist there, as far as I'm aware, or at least I was the only person crocheting plushies. No one else was selling plushies or crochet flowers. So yeah, next we're going to talk about my bestsellers. I didn't say it at the beginning, but I'm going to put bestsellers in its own section, best and worst sellers, because I feel like that's a really important thing to know if you're about to do your own fair. So yeah, let's get on to the bestsellers and the worst sellers. Okay, so for this I will be reading from my little book of the things I sold. Here we are. So hit myself on the glasses. All the stuff that's highlighted are the things that sold out. Everything else is just stuff, and I've written down obviously how much I've sold, all that, for tax reasons, because tax. So yeah, I had, what did I have sell out? I had 3 things sell out, and that was axolotls. Hopefully I'm putting a gorgeous picture here, and a dinosaur. He sold out because I only made one of him. His name was Dimitri. He was the love of my life. I'm so sad he sold, actually. I really liked him. And also roses, so rose flowers, fantastic. Like, I'm gonna put a picture of the bouquet here of all the flowers I made. So I made 20 flowers. They were the best sellers by far. Out of everything, I think I sold 10 out of the 20. They were so popular, and I don't know, I didn't really expect them to be. I thought they were going to be a lot more, I thought more people were going to have already had them or not want to pay the price, because I don't know, because I craft, I'm aware of how much things cost, but I'm also aware I can make it myself. So I'm not often willing to spend money on something I know I could do myself. So it still amazes me that people are willing to spend what things are actually worth. It's crazy. Like, what do you mean you don't want to just buy it for £2 off Shein? Like, that's amazing. So flowers, bestseller by far, and it was specifically the roses. I don't have any roses left, and I had, I think, 3 or 4 different people request red roses, so I'm definitely going to be selling red roses from now on. Everyone seemed to want them. The axolotls, God, they were so popular. I think most people who came to the stall actually picked it up, especially the pink one. The pink axo was like, he was a crowd favourite. And eventually the lady who was opposite me selling, oh, what was she selling? She was selling cross-stitch things. So cute. She came and bought the pink one, and then another vendor came and bought the orange one for her son, and that was really lovely. So yeah, they were the best sellers by far. I'll list off what else I sold, because a lot of things did not get touched and a lot of things got no attention whatsoever. So other good sellers were the mini bees. I sold 3 of those and I bought 5, so they were great. I also sold one of the rainbow bees, and he was like that big, £5, and I didn't think anyone was going to buy him because it's £5 for quite a little guy, but everyone, people were happy to pay. It still like, can't even talk. I'm so amazed. I'm still amazed that people are willing to pay what an object is worth when places like Shein exist and Temu, and they're so like mainstream. Like, thank you for still supporting proper artists. It's really nice. I also sold 2 of the little frogs I bought, and I bought 5 of those little grumpy frogs. I sold 1 octopus, but I didn't really sell it. I donated it to the raffle, but it was one of the first prizes that was picked, and I thought that was really, really lovely. I also sold, what else did I sell? I also sold 1 tiny whale, the axolotls, big dino, and flowers, along with a little cinnamon bun. But other than that, that is all I sold. I didn't sell a huge amount, but I sold enough. I'm quite happy with what happened, to be fair. It never felt like I was overly slow, and most people who walked past my bit did buy something. It was quite awkward. A lot of people would pick loads of stuff up, put it all back, and then eventually come back, which I didn't realise. I didn't realise people would like scout about and then come back and buy stuff. I thought they were sort of just touching everything and leaving. So that was a bizarre experience for me, because in the shops I have worked at, people don't tend to touch things, but at markets it's really different. So that was cool to learn. Now we will get on to the worst sellers. Sad times for these little guys. Quite frankly, I'm really shocked at the things that didn't sell, because it's all the things that I would have bought. I'll put pictures just over here. So first we have my cats. So I had a brown cat, a grey cat, and an orange cat. No one even looked at them. No one wanted them. I appreciate they look kind of hamster-like, but they're so cute. They are so cute. The turtles I think are so cute. I've had 3 people order them from my TikTok shop in like the past few days. I thought they would go quite quickly. They did not. My Philbert the frog, my little leggy frog, especially the one I made in rainbow dungarees, I thought he was gonna go. Like, I thought he would be snapped up. Nobody wanted him. Same with the mushrooms. Same with the big frogs. So I did big like pride flag frogs, and not frogs, bees. Big pride flag bees and little pride bees. none of them sold. None of the Pride themed stuff actually got sold, which I found really strange at a Pride event, because I now don't know if any of it will sell at all, because if it was going to sell anywhere, it was going to be a Pride event. I also had little Cindy the cinnamon bun, my rainbows, my squid, the bigger whales, they're not big but they're like medium sized, my lovely hot chocolate. I'm not shocked he didn't sell. My hot chocolate, he's wonky and I love him, and I'm kind of tempted to not sell him. I feel like I should keep him at Whittard because it is a tea, hot chocolate and coffee shop, but that's beside the point. And what else didn't sell? Oh, that's it actually, that is it. But quite a few of those things I expected to do really quite well, like especially the bees, the mushrooms and the leggy frogs. I didn't expect them to struggle so much. Like, they were so cute. They were so cute. But I think a lot of the issue was they were like a price in between. Dimitri the dinosaur, people didn't care how expensive he was. They thought he was worth the price, and he was probably about that big. Whereas the little leggy frog, the one in Dungaree, is probably not that big, and he was £15 because of all the colour changes. One lady asked how much he was annoyed that he was £15, and I said, I'm so sorry, it took me so much longer because of all the colour changes. I wanted to make sure they were all hidden, I didn't want there to be loads of loose ends. And she cut me off and was like really funny with me and said, I know how crochet works. And I was like, okay, you don't have to buy him. you don't have to buy any of it, it's okay. But yeah, those are the best and worst sellers, and I think I am saddest that the rainbows didn't sell because they're just so cute. And I named him Raymond the Rainbow. Who wouldn't want a Raymond? But yeah, I will go on to the next section now. We will see what I will do next time. We are on the last section of today's video. Thank you so much for watching this far if you have, and I hope it's been helpful. Now we have what I will do next time. So the first thing I want to do is buy a few more like decorative supplies. Like the amount of people I saw who had fairy lights, bunting, and like cratey like grey wall things that they could hang things off. That would be so cool. Like to have a little wall of stuff to sort of add some height and have like little baskets of stuff. I really want to be really extra. I'm leaning into crochet flowers because they did so well. I did not think people would like them as much as they did. I'd like to get like a whole little florist set up and have buckets for each of the different flowers. I'm very sorry if you can hear music in the background. My brother has just started playing his music. So I'd like to get some more decorative supplies for the stall, but more than anything, I'd like more variety. So it's ridiculous because I've always been crafty, I've always been into art, and I make so many different things. I've made earrings and all sorts of jewellery, so much, but I didn't sell any of it. And I had it just sitting here. I didn't bring it because I felt like it would be strange to mesh it with crochet. But to be honest, I also make stickers, I also do art prints and cards and all sorts of other stuff. And I think I should really lean into everything else as well, and maybe try and use some other crafts and other skills that I have, because variety is only going to be better, it's not going to be worse. And if it goes really badly next time, I just won't use so much variety. I would also like more stock. So if nothing else, the absolute mad rush of prepping 3 weeks in advance, sorry about the music, has taught me I will always keep stock now. If I'm going to make stuff whenever I have free time, whenever I feel like it, because it is helpful. All the flowers I can make, all the plushies I can make, all of the little like hats for dogs that I can make it all, because the stock is so helpful. Not feeling like you're in a mad rush will only be beneficial. The same with business cards, same with actually ordering art prints and stickers and everything like that. I've been waiting until there's a market to get ready for a market, and there's no point doing that. If you know you want to go to markets, get ready as far in advance as you can, because you're only going to help yourself. And I don't know why I put it off for so long. Quite frankly, I don't know why I put it off for so long. But yeah, I also plan on keeping stock of business cards, because So many people asked for my business card, so many people wanted to contact me afterwards. They haven't. However, they know that I'm there and they've seen a little bit of what I can do. I'd also like, I'm not sure if it's something that other people do or know if it works or not, but I'd like to have a sort of commissions application sort of thing, because I had about 5 different people ask if I could make them certain things and say, oh, how do I get in contact with you? And I go, oh, any of my social medias is fine, but I feel like that extra step is just a bit too much. Whereas if I had something they could fill out there and then, or a little form I could fill in for them there and then about what they want, it would be a lot easier and a lot more likely to actually happen, instead of them having to go out of their way to find me, find out how to message me, because sometimes it was older people who would struggle to do so. Yeah, so I think that's a good idea. I have also since made a Facebook account because so many people asked for my Facebook. Like, I don't use Facebook, I'm 19, I don't touch it, but so many people asked for it. Like, it was ridiculous. And I'm thinking, I was told by quite a few vendors it's a good idea to sell like plushies and stuff like that on Facebook Marketplace, or list them on there so people can actually see them. So that would be really, really good. And other than that, the only thing I wish I'd done more of is film content, because I was shocking. I was in such a mad rush, I didn't film anything. I think I filmed some preparation. If I did, it'll be in here somewhere. I filmed a little bit on the day, barely anything, and I'm filming now, but I haven't kept good track of what I've been up to. I haven't given you guys a good idea of what it was like, where I think I really could have done. And the only thing I really regret other than that was on the actual day, I didn't go look around any other stalls. Like, I looked around my room, but there were 2 rooms and the other room was a lot bigger. And I wasn't going to leave until the end because I didn't want to spend all my money on other artists when I need the money. Car insurance is expensive. So I didn't want to spend all my money because I knew I would. Even just in the room I was in, it was tempting to go spend every cent I made. And eventually we did a raffle, and the raffle went on so much longer than I expected that I never got like 10 minutes at the end to just go look at everyone else's, or like go follow other people's social medias or make those connections. Next time, I really, really want to make an effort to pick up business cards, to actually meet other vendors properly, actually connect with everyone else properly. I think I was so wrapped up in trying to sell stuff, I didn't think so much about the community, which I really regret. I do regret that, because everyone was so nice, and I don't even know anyone's names. Maybe one person's name, but I don't know what they are on social media. Who knows? So yeah, that is my roundup of my market. Overall, I'm really, really pleased with how it went, and I can't wait to do more. I'm really sad that I haven't got a table at Norwich Pride, but hopefully I'm going to go to a car boot before like the summer holidays end, and I'm going to try and go to an October market. Sorry about the music again. October market for Halloween and a November-December market for Christmas. I just need to discuss it with my manager because I don't want to take too much time off when I'm still quite new. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful. Any questions, always put them in the comments. Sorry about the background noise halfway through, and hopefully I will speak to you all soon. Happy crafting!